Hey, it is another cool but sunny day in March, and I'm going to get a little more done today. I have to wait for these times where it's actually possible to dig a hole or be outside without like full winter gear on to work out here, because there's other things to be done in the house. So this is when it's fully sunny, I have a little more freedom to do what I want to do outside. I mentioned before that I have broken my landscaping areas into zones. Right here in front of our main entrance, doesn't look pretty right now. That's zone 1. Actually, I'll show you what I did last time so you can see how it kind of pans out. So this is my zone 1. This is kind of the goal. It's ready for mulch. I moved these 3 arborvitaes out, hung up these hanging baskets. Those are daffodils and other bulbs that I found down here. Once those are finished blooming, I'm going to be taking those and putting them in the orchard. This is a tree that Emma found about this big in the park next door. We just dug it up. It was not an intentional planting. It was something that was growing next to a bigger tree. This is just a regular old spruce from Home Depot that has tripled in size. And then here are poppies. These are tulips right here. I'm just waiting for the deer to come by and chew them all the way down to the ground, because that happens almost every year. And then this is mint. You always want to keep mint in a container, of course. And there's a little baby mint plant coming up. I dug all of this mint out of another area of the yard where it was not contained, so it's a lot better this way. So today I'm going to take you around to the front of the house, the entrance that we don't use very often, because that is what I'm calling zone 2. Here's the front of the house. These are my 2 cats. This one is not allowed outside. He got out a few minutes ago on his own. This is Shug. She's kind of new, and she likes to eat mice and other annoying little creatures, so we love having her outside. He's just going to pretend like he's allowed out here and sniff things and pretend that he can mark things because he's fixed and he can't. All right, so I need to take down some leftover Christmas things. Yes, it is March, but honestly, we're still trying to figure out how to change the seasons up here. It's too cold, even in February, to take things down usually, so we're figuring it out. Today, I need to clean up this mess that I made when I stole those arborvitaes out of the urns. I'll probably just put that, the dirt back in here. I'm going to prune these back all the way to the ground, because see the new growth that's growing up? These are mums. These are just garden mums that I got one fall, and when you're done using them as decoration, you can just plant them in the ground. And if you're in a hospitable territory like we are now, they'll come back year after year. Even in Texas, I could get a little bit of growth out of the ones from the grocery store year after year. This climate seems to be absolutely perfect for that. I'm not going to do anything with the hydrangeas. They look gorgeous, and I really don't remember how to prune panicle hydrangeas, so I don't want to mess them up. And then this is, oh, this is looking so good. This is a David Austin rose that has tons and tons of growth points on it. It is about to just shoot up with new growth. Don't eat it. Don't eat it, Shug. This is paint from last year. It did get painted when we did the porch. This is a Claire Austin rose, and it's like a creamy white. Then here's a lilac. Beautiful. Over here, I guess I could call this zone 1. I think I typically do. So I'm going to be cutting back this mum. These are black-eyed Susans that just go wild every year. I'll cut those back. And then the mums that are still alive, I have some over there. And I have some on the end of the porch. I think I'm going to start a little mum hedge just around the end of this. They just do so well here. I'll put some of those out there. I have another place for those also. And then all of this dead stuff. Here's another mum that needs to be trimmed up. And then this is all last year's petunias. The petunias lasted forever last year. They got massive and beautiful, and I just let them die where they were. And I'm definitely going to be replanting those this year. They were like a showstopper, beautiful. So that's kind of the goal here. I don't know if I've ever shown the porch that we painted last year. So the paint just got another coat of white. Donnie sanded it down and basically restored this whole thing. It was in really bad shape when we got it. I did the porch floor myself. I sanded it and drew out this grid and painted that. I used a porch stain, but it's a full coverage, so you really can't see the wood through it, and so it's really nice and a solid color. And then he built me this extra deep step, and I really like it because I can put these urns on the outside and it doesn't impede the traffic flow here. And then also this step before, it was the ugliest thing about our entire house. It was so ratty and peeling and looking terrible, and now it's brand new and it looks really pretty. It just needs to be cleaned. Well, this is as far as it's going to get today. I would hate to call this the after because it's really, there's no sense of completion here. Anyway, the urns are empty. The wreaths are gone. I cleaned up all of those little pots. I actually put them on the side of the house to deal with another day. But the mums were so easy because they just snapped off. They were so dried out. They just snapped right off. And you can see at the base of them, this is the new growth for this year's mum. And then these monster plants over here, they just start every single year from the ground up. They're really incredible. I'm going to need to figure out a way to support them this year because they're such beauties, but once they bloom and then it rains on them, they just completely flop over. The dirt I left here for a couple days has definitely stained the sidewalks. I'm going to have to deal with that another day. But everything, again, is just ready for mulch. And that's the level that I needed to happen today. I actually have more time today, and it's so beautiful. I'm going to take you out to my third zone and get the before. Someday, I think we're going to do something with this little gate. It's not my favorite thing. Okay, so the wall, everything in front of the wall and all the way down to the entrance is called what I called Zone 3. Bless you. This little plant doesn't look like much, but I'm hoping eventually it takes over this entire area, and you can see how much new growth. New growth a lot of times is kind of a reddish color because it hasn't been fully affected by the chlorophyll. So you can tell where the new growth is, but this is about to branch out. This is a creeping phlox, and I'm hoping, I put 6 feet in between each one. I'm hoping I don't have to fill in. Maybe someday I'll come out here and cut each one in half and spread them a little bit thinner. But this is going to be completely covered in blooms in just a couple weeks, I hope. It's called creeping phlox.
Does it stay alive through the winter?
Yeah, I didn't plant that.
No?
I didn't plant that this year. I planted it last year, so it's totally alive. Has tons of new growth all over it, and it's just about to go nuts. And it was only about this tall when I first got it. So it's already grown quite a bit. This is very exciting. I think I got like 20 something of these last year, and it took me forever to plant them all the way down. But it's gonna look really, really pretty, I hope. So my job out here is just gonna be to do a little bit of weeding, get some of these sticks out of here, get the leaves from the neighbor's trees out of here. And then also included in zone 3, okay, this is lavender. So here's the entrance here in the driveway. This is lavender. I did a pretty good job pruning this last year. But as you can see, it's full of leaves and trash. People love to throw their trash out of their cars as they're driving by our house in particular, it feels like. And then on this side, I did not prune the lavender. And so I don't know if I'm going to before summer, if I'll just wait until it blooms and then do it. I don't know. It's a little wilder over here. Look at the color of that moss. Isn't that beautiful? And again, so much trash. People are just nasty. I don't know what tree this is, but I keep taking away more and more of it every year. Last year it was completely blocking our view of the road, so I had to take a ton of it. It's not bad for some height in this bed, but it's not interesting either, so who knows if that'll stay long term. Anyway, I think zone 3 will be fast also. You ready for some lunch?
Already?
Yeah. Isn't it time?
Only 12:20.
Okay. Well, let's work for 10 more minutes and then go have some lunch. All right. Good morning. It is an overcast day, but I just looked at the weather and the rest of the week is going to be fully raining and cold. So I don't love working out here on a day like this. It's kind of dreary, but it is nice and cool. So if I work up a sweat, I can keep going. I like that. But yesterday I was able to finish 2 whole areas, getting ready for mulch, weeding, trimming things back, removing leaves. And so I just thought I would show you the progress. Area number 2, or zone number 2, is the front of my house. And then the third one, these are all by priority. The third zone is in front of this wall on the other side, where I've got the creeping phlox, and it's looking really, really good. And now it's all cleaned up and ready for mulch. So this is what we finished yesterday. I'm gonna let the rain clean that up and then I'll deal with it. If it's stained, I'll deal with that later. I was able to save 2 mums that I had left in a pot over the winter. Look at this. It looks like almost nothing. But do you see that green right there? If we're lucky, it'll take root and give me a new perennial mum year after year. So I'm gonna make a little hedge right along here with my leftover mums from last year. I actually have lots of places for mums around the property. This is a big property. There's lots of little places to stick things, and mums are really low effort plant. They look really good in the fall when not much else is blooming, and they don't take any work whatsoever. So here we are on the other side of the wall. And I didn't have to do much here. Most of the leaves had been blown away by the wind anyway, so I just picked up the trash and cleaned up around each one of these creeping phlox. I cannot tell you how excited I am to see these guys bloom. I planted these because there's another person in my neighborhood that has them, and they bloom pretty early, and it looked amazing. So this is gonna look so pretty all the way down. And then this is the entrance of our driveway. Look how nice the lavender looks when all the leaves are gone. And you can see these are tulips. Those were here when we moved in, and they're a nice little surprise. I'm probably gonna move all the tulips eventually, but they're nice when they're blooming. And then right here and right there on either side of the driveway, that's where I wanna put a big mum eventually. I think that would look amazing on both sides, because they really do look stately when they're fully grown and just beautiful in bloom. Another piece of trash. Now this is the side that I didn't trim the lavender last year, and you can see it is not as nice. See how it's all sprawling and on the other side it's standing up like a little hedge. That's what I want. So at some point when I'm done cleaning up these different zones, I'll come out here and clean this up. Maybe when I put mulch out here, I'll trim those up so they can grow fresh this year. Areas 1 through 3 done and ready. Last year I didn't get this far until at least June. So my plan is to get a little farther each year so that maybe by hopefully summer number 5, we're coming up on summer number 3 right now. Summer number 5, maybe we can be doing this for the entire property instead of having massive planting and cleanup goals for every single year. Maybe it can be more like just maintenance. Let's take my garbage cans in. Thank you, buddy. Okay, so area number 4. Everything you see behind me on the family side of the stone wall. Last year we planted, I don't know how many there are, maybe 24, 25 evergreens here. Eventually these will grow up and give us a little bit of a privacy screen. As you can see, as I'm even making this video, this road is very busy. It's very loud, and we actually get a lot of dirt from the road onto this porch right here, and we almost never use that porch. So our thought was, if we can build up a screen in the next few years from these evergreens, then we can reduce sound and reduce some of that dirt pollution getting onto our porch. That's the theory, at least. But this has been a major undertaking. We had to clean this up significantly, and we really like how the wall looks. This wall is from like 1860 or maybe even earlier. And before we removed all of this, it was completely hidden by just really trash plants. Now it's nice and clean, but oh my gosh, this is going to grow up over the summer. We're going to have to continue putting down cardboard, remulching until this is clear. So today's project is to get these leaves out of here. I might do a little bit of weeding, but that's really, it's a massive job. You really need like an afternoon to do that. There are a few straggler plants back here. That's daffodils. Those are planted so low, just like the others that you might have seen in my zone 1 area by the porch. They're planted very, very deep, so they're hard to get. And then these are daylilies. Just those orange ones that grow on the side of the road. They're not very special. They multiply like crazy, so those can die. Those can stay there. I'm not too concerned about those. Last year, Esther and I put cardboard around each of these smaller firs. These were a lot smaller than this when we planted them, even though they look tiny compared to those. They've grown a lot. But we put cardboard around the base, and then we put mulch on top of the cardboard. And as you can see, underneath these trees is so much cleaner than this side. So I don't know what we're going to do. We may end up putting cardboard down. I got to tell you, I'm super tempted to just do a roundup that type thing, but I probably won't do that. That's not really my style. But I tell you, what I won't do is landscape fabric, because I hate landscape fabric. So maybe we'll just do a little bit at a time, and then Donnie can mow over it. And I believe eventually we will beat this grass. It's okay. Go ahead and